Though the news of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition was pretty cool at first, there's been a strong contingent of fans, and no, we're not talking about everyone who believes anything and everything related to Fallout 4 must die, wondering why Bethesda just doesn't remaster Oblivion. Why go back to the well with Skyrim? As it turns out, remastering Oblivion would take a significant amount of work. Who'd have guessed? Speaking to GameSpot, Bethesda VP of Marketing and PR Pete Hines said, Oblivion is 10 years old, so the amount of work for that engine and that tech to bring it and remaster it and do all the things we want to do was significant. It's not impossible, but it would be mountainous. It was either like go make an entire new game or do Skyrim. Some of the porting work for Skyrim had already been completed as well, thanks to an exercise by the developer over the years. It just seemed to be a much closer path. It was the most successful game that we had ever done before Fallout 4, so it already had a huge audience. As for how Skyrim mods would work on PC, Hines said the idea is that it's exactly the same way as Fallout 4. Skyrim Special Edition on PC is free only if you own Skyrim and all of the DLC. It also has a new creation kit. It doesn't just work with all the existing mods. They will have to take that mod and run it through the new creation kit and publish it to Bethesda.net. Then, that would be available on console. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition is out on October 28th for Xbox One, PC, and PS4. Capcom have gone ahead and revealed the healing items for Resident Evil 7, and we think that a lot of longtime fans of the series will be happy at the reveal, since the healing items include the series' signature herbs as well as healing potions. And then there's the coin, which is all sorts of what? Seriously, at this point, between this and the finger and the plethora of mysteries that lay unraveled from this game's demo, we think we can safely conclude that Capcom are just trying to mess with us now. Seriously though, how will that coin actually heal anything or anyone? There has to be more to this than meets the eye. In other Bethesda news, Fallout 4 has received a new update on Steam to prepare it for Nuka World, the next big story DLC due this month, and it also adds a bunch of other fixes and changes. Along with allowing PS4 users to delete add-ons without having to perform a full uninstall, Update 1.7 allows players to get rid of Jun and Marcy Long once the Sanctuary quest is complete. So if you're not a particular fan of Marcy, well, this update is for you. Other changes include vendors offering large shipments of ceramic, steel, and other materials, grenades and Molotov cocktails now being available for use in the junk mortar, fixes for issues like companions losing their clothing when fast traveling with the player, and quartermastery sending players to the wrong locations, and even the ability to disable all mods when offline. There's quite a lot there, even if it's bug fixes and the like. Hideo Kojima is known for being a troll. He sets up and creates elaborate ruses and loves to engage in mind games with fans. Given that, plus given the lack of closure some have had on some of his recent projects, the still unreleased and likely never to release PT, for example, or the fabled Chapter 3 of Metal Gear Solid 5, people tend to read a whole lot into what he's saying and doing, trying to maybe fit it into a larger narrative of their liking. In their defense, they're probably encouraged by Kojima also playing along with fans, and in his defense, he plays along with them because playing along with them is all he can do. Besides, publicity and the like. Take this newest set of tweets and retweets for instance. Kojima's secretary tweeted a picture of Kojima standing under a cafe, and the board that Kojima was standing under, well, that just happened to read none other than PT! Real subtle there, Kojima! Then there's another tweet, this one by a fan, jokingly tweeting about the confirmation of Chapter 3 for Metal Gear Solid 5. And this is one tweet that Kojima just happened to retweet. Why, Kojima, why? Why must you play with our feelings so? We guess this is why he commands a fan base like none other though. Electronic Arts had revealed its Q1 fiscal 2017 earnings report, and in a post-earnings call, it noted expected sales figures for upcoming titles like Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2. CFO Blake Jorgensen stated that, "We've told people that typically a Battlefield title does about 15 million in a year. Our guidance is slightly under that, and we hope that the excitement builds and it will clearly go through that number. But for right now, it's slightly under that number." The original Titanfall managed to sell just a bit over 7 million units, but Titanfall 2 is likely to do better. We think it'll do more than that, but it's probably closer to 10 million than it is to 15 million as built into our guidance, so closer to 9 to 10 million on Titanfall and just under 15 million on Battlefield 1. Both games are out in October for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. In other news of surprises that surprise absolutely no one, a recent update for Pokemon Go has been very controversial, and seems to have united the game's substantial fanbase into criticizing the game heavily online. The changes, which include the removal of the Pokemon tracking feature as well as making third-party Pokemon tracking apps incompatible, and also, reportedly, making Pokemon harder to catch, have been roundly criticized by the millions of players playing the game online. Responding to the backlash, developer Niantic took to Facebook to try to explain the changes, first listing out the changes they had made that caused the furore, as well as recognizing that the game's unavailability in a lot of countries around the world was causing frustration. They said, "We've read your posts and emails, and we hear the frustration from folks in places where we haven't launched yet, and from those of you who missed these features. We want you to know that we've been working crazy hours to keep the game running as we continue to launch globally. you haven't heard us tweeting much, it's because we've been heads down working on the game, but we'll do our best going forward to keep you posted on what's going on. They also specifically addressed the removal of the in-game tracking feature, noting that the original feature was apparently obtuse and did not meet Niantic's internal goals for clarity. They did, however, imply that they would work on re-adding the feature to the game in some kind of improved capacity. They also implied that the third-party services that they blocked had apparently contributed to the server stress the game had experienced, noting that they wished to normalize server load as soon as possible and bring the game to still more countries around the world. Whether or not the response is satisfactory is something that the community alone will determine. However, it's good to see that the famously reclusive developer is now actually taking to communicating with their fans about the game, until the next update in which it remains silent and then everyone gets angry. So we'll just see how things go from there.
We hope you've enjoyed this video, so please consider subscribing to our channel. We do original content, reviews, graphics comparison, and much more, and try to upload a video every day. Thank you very much for checking us out.